that and ask lots of questions. We love questions. And so again, our second presenter today is an update presenter. He's also our coffee sponsor. He's a caffeinator in our community, so he's always here. So everyone give a hand for Titus Kleppinger of Glow Growth and Development.
Hello, everybody. My name is Titus. I'm with Glow Growth and Development, and these lights are pretty bright. Man alive. Sheesh.
But you look good.
Well, thank you. With my pink socks.
Always.
Yeah. So, anyway, things are usually created out of adversity, and that's how Glow was created. Back in 2018, my relationship, my marriage was seeing some tough spots, and so I went seeking because I wanted to change whatever I could do within me to help the relationship. And so I went looking for whatever it was. I was seeking answers. And I remember my first conversation with this lady, and we sat down, and she was like, yes and no. And I was like, okay. I still was looking, and there was not an answer. Well, I had a workshop with this lady, another lady, and she wrote a book. It's called The Heart's Mind. And in that book, she was talking about what is your purpose and what is your passion? And so we sat down, we did this workshop, and I discovered my heart. I grew up a mental, physical, spiritual person, but in discovering my heart, it encapsulated that. And Glow was created. And how Glow actually came to me, somebody said, well, how did you come up with Glow? I still go to the gym fairly frequently, and I remember stepping into the hot tub, and soon as, who here is a water baby? Any water babies? Okay, so I'm a water baby. And so I remember, as soon as I put my foot in the water, that spark, that glow was given to me, and I was like, okay, we're gonna run with that. And so that was October 2018. I started a workshops. I had Frank as my very first speaker, actually, and he was the one that helped kick it off. And we did 4 workshops, and we speak on mental mindset, health and nutrition, relationships, and all tied together with heart and working in flow. And I went to a Mary Morrissey Dream Builders workshop and scripted out the ideal life, or started scripting out the ideal life. As you grow and become, you start tweaking some things, and you're like, okay, that was good, but this is really good, and I want really good. Who here wants really good? I want really good. And so I did Mary Morrissey Dream Builders. I dropped into Thinking into Results with Bob Proctor in February, and life was good. I manifested a job fairly quickly. I was traveling a lot, and I said, I don't want to travel anymore. And so I went in and applied for this inside sales position, and they said, well, you're not an inside guy, you're an outside guy. And I'm thinking, well, there's more money. And I was like, sure. And so I went back for the second interview, and they said, well, instead of being the outside guy, what would you think about being the branch manager? And I said, sign me up. And so came with a corporate card, and I was the boss. And life was good for a little bit. In the Thinking into Results, I had a goal card, and on that goal card I wrote, I speak full-time for Glow. And July 15th of 2020, the supervisor out of Denver comes in and hands me a check and says, here's your 2-week severance. And I said, okay. And I was like, I was kind of expecting this. And he looks at me kind of funny. He's like, what do you mean you're kind of expecting it? And I didn't go into the story, but you can't have a goal of speaking full-time for Glow and have a full-time job. There's a conflict there. And so the universe, God says, can't happen, so see ya. Kicked me out of the nest. And I went down to San Antonio for a speaking academy and met some incredible people down there. Went on a short speaking tour, and out of that, I launched a podcast, wrote a book. Actually, it's a collaboration of several authors. It's on Amazon called Waffles 2. And started the podcast, have some podcast guests here in attendance, and I appreciate you being on the show. I basically collect stories and also do some affiliate marketing with them, and it's been a great ride. And so that was 2020. As we move into 2021, there's new challenges, there's new difficulties that come about. And what I've come to realize is out of those challenges, I continue to grow and to become that new person. And looking to talk to people about the mask, the box. See, for me, I was 40 some odd years old, living in a box that somebody else created for me and put me in. And I was there. I lived in that. And I got tired of it. And I said, I'm going to take off the mask. I'm going to get out of the box. And in doing that, and in making that choice, I discovered me. And there's a lot of people that are living, but they're not alive. And so that's a question I would have for you. Are you living but not alive?
Have you done this before?
No.
His like right at 5 minutes and 50 seconds, right, Rihanna? Very good. Okay, so it's time for Q&A. You guys just raise your hands and Titus will go.
Yes.
So tell us what's changed over the past year.
Me. I've changed,
And the goals.
right? It's growth. I was, some of you guys know Tim and Brownie. I met Tim and Brownie at a coffee shop here, and we sat down, and I looked over to my left, and I saw this picture, a painting of a phoenix. And I resonated with that phoenix. I went back a week later and bought that phoenix, and phoenix is the rebirth. And so there's a continual rebirth in me to become a higher version of myself. Who's next? Let's have some fun. Yes.
All right, tell us about your podcast. Like how.
The podcast is a blast. I get to have some incredible conversations. I've met people, I've talked to people in Morocco, Africa. I've talked to several people in Africa. Talked to a lot of people in New York. I collect stories a lot of times and get to hear these, where these people come from, what they're looking to do. It's just a joy. I put it out on YouTube. If you go to YouTube, you can find Glow Growth and Development there. If you go to my website, theglowcenter.com, there's podcasts there, and you can listen to those. And there's a lot of, if you don't invest in yourself, it's not gonna happen. Okay, so you got to invest your time. You got to invest reading. She was talking about reading her books. So invest in yourself. Spend a couple minutes. I've got a bunch of content out there that will help you and bless you and benefit you and help you become a better version of yourself. You got to want it, though. Yes, ma'am.
Your in-person pieces took a side seat during COVID, but you're coming back with those, right?
Say that again?
The in-person Glow?
Yes. So actually, April of this year, we're looking to do another workshop. And yes, so we'll have those 4 speakers come on, and it will be great. Yes. Yes, ma'am.
What is your biggest fear and how do you overcome it?
You push through. And I can't really say I have a biggest fear because it probably hasn't shown up in my life yet. And so when I do have a fear, that comfort zone or what is comfortable for me, I've come to realize that it's a feeling. That fear is a feeling. It doesn't necessarily, and if you were to look at my childhood, always playing it safe, be safe. You know, I was the firstborn of my mama, and so she's like, don't do that, you know, and I've got a couple scars, but not many. But I've come to realize that there's the fear barrier, and you just push past that, and it's not easy. It's not easy. You have to do the work, and I am a prime example of somebody that does the work, that pushes through, and I'm an example for you, everyone here, to know what is capable and possible of being done in their life. Mr. Frank.
Yeah, Titus, I've had a great opportunity to see you change.
Thank you.
You know, and we all change as part of this journey. What would you say from the time that you and I first connected in a coffee shop up north till today? What's the biggest change in Titus?
My mindset, how I think. I would say that would be the biggest thing, because there's paradigms. You were talking about paradigm or how you think. And if you can realize that a lot of times those paradigms are put on you by your parents, put on you by society, I grew up in the church, so they'll put paradigms on you, and religion, and realizing, okay, that's their opinion, that's how they think, that's what they think is best, but is that really best for my life? And so it's really asking. There's a lot. That's a loaded question, Frank, because I could talk on that. I could talk on that one for a little bit. But yes, learning to take every moment, be very present. What's going on right this second? Because 10 minutes ago doesn't matter. Anxiety is going to happen if I worry about what's going to happen in 20 minutes. Be right now, right here, and alive and living. And that's what I hope and pray for all of you, is to be fully alive and fully expressed and aware of where you're at. Yes, ma'am.
Because I know what you do, does your artwork fall under Glow as well, or does that come?
Yes, thank you for bringing that up. Glow Creations. During the December lockdown, I think December was the second lockdown that we had, and I'm a social person, so I like to get out and about, and it was wearing on me a little bit, and I had some pent-up energy. I did a podcast with the artist, and I said, well, let me try my hand. So I went to the art store, and really, I think I discovered a different part of me that I didn't really realize was there. And so I've created some artwork. It's out on the internet. And with that artwork, what I've done is I've actually moved the artwork to Vans. Have you heard of Vans tennis shoes? I'm taking that artwork and putting it on Vans and customizing the Vans, and I've gotten good feedback. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Yes, ma'am.
So bring it all together for me. So I'm hearing, and maybe I'm a little slow, but I need to catch up. So podcast, speaker, workshop master, artist. Is there anything else I'm missing?
Yes.
Okay. So
Yeah.
all of this stuff. First,
Yes.
how do you keep your head from spinning?
Calendar.
Touche. But also, I don't know any other way to say it, but how do you make your money? Like, what's the overall business model and strategy, right?
And thank you for saying that. Yes. So the overall is I did 20 plus years in sales, marketing, and business development. And so I've helped people with their businesses. I've sat down with people and consulted and helped them get through their challenges. And so yes, I do that, and I'm capable of that on the business side. For me, more importantly though, is people's heart and where they're at in their world, in their personal world. I can help. If you help the person, you will help their business. And I've come to realize that. So I really aim to work on people and their hearts and where they're at in their mental and their physical. Like I say, I go to the gym. Part of the reason is to go to the gym is for myself to be physically fit. The other part is to be the example to the world of what is capable. So you're saying you're all this stuff. Yes, there is a lot of stuff, but you are capable of so much more than you've come to realize. I am capable of so much more. You guys are all capable of so much more than what you're doing. It's just fine-tuning it, becoming efficient, and raising your vibration, and doing it, moving, go. Look at TV. How many people watch way too much TV, way too much television? And they burn up time. I saw a post the other day. It says, okay, you sleep this much and you work this much. What are you doing with the other 60, 40, whatever hours? And it just gets it. I was at the networking meeting last night, and he's like, yeah, I don't usually, I get out of bed at 7, and I don't usually get productive till 9 or 10. And I was like, I understand that. I've been there where you just take it slow and you take it casual. Why don't you crank up your speed a little bit and get more done? Did that kind of help answer your question a little bit? Well, let's have coffee. I'd love to. We haven't actually sat down, and we need to do that. Yes. So, yes, ma'am.
So, just to be blunt and very personal, how do you pay your bills?
How do I pay my bills? I make money.
How? That's what we're trying to
I coach. I coach. I consult. I sell tennis shoes. I sell artwork.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm an affiliate link. I'm an affiliate marketer, so I have people on my podcast, so I do affiliate marketing for people. There's a lot of, you don't have to, so she was talking about reading the Rich Dad, Poor Dad book. When you learn to move on the other side of the equation, a lot of people, I was there. A long time ago, I started 4 or 5 companies because I was bouncing back and forth between the employee and the self-employed, right? And when I realized, oh, I'm on the wrong side of the equation, I moved over to the other side of the equation to where I'm a business owner and an investor. When you move over there, I have my real estate license too. I don't do too much in real estate, but I also have my real estate license. You can make money. It's possible. I listened to a podcast the other day. It says, it's a choice to be wealthy. I choose to be wealthy. I make that choice. Yes, sir, Frank. Got me fired up.
I know a lot of you work in mindset work, right? One of the questions that I have, and one of the things that I think coaches run into, because there's this thing about, oh, I'm going to be my best self. I'm working towards my best self. But so many people don't even know who they are. So how are they doing to get there? Do you have any feedback on this specific thing?
Yes, and thank you for opening up that conversation. So for myself, what I did was I took the house of Titus and I opened up all the doors and I turned it upside down and I dumped it all out. Because there's so much clutter and junk there was in my life, and I would venture to say that there's some junk in your life, whether it be emotional, whatever, clutter and junk that is up here and here. I took the whole house, dumped it out, and said, okay, what's really important? And looking at your priorities. What are your priorities? My kids are my priorities. Making an impact in the world is a priority. Being up here for you guys. I'm not up here for me. I'm up here for you. I want to touch your heart, touch your life, help you get to where you're at to where you want to be. And where do you want to go? Do you have goals? Do you have a dream? Do you want to go anywhere? Do you want to do anything? I would love to sit down and talk with you. I'll help you get there. That's the benefit of a coach, right? Is that other perspective, that whatever. And you would be surprised. It's called the razor's edge. You can be here and you can make 1 or 2 degree shift. And in that 1 or 2 degree shift, you'll go from 1-to-1 ratio of return to a 1-to-10 to 1-to-100. In a book that I read, it says you can plant a seed and you can get a 30, 60, and a 90-fold return. So let's look at that. Yes, ma'am.
I think it's really interesting how you have like all these places that you can dabble and make money, because I just find that, like, what's your favorite way to make money? Because I think it's interesting, like my personality is like kind of focused on this, and so like that, you obviously have some comfort with the unknown, or a healthy comfort with the unknown, which I think is more than most of us. So, and you're not afraid of stuff, but how do you know where to go next, or where are you going to focus?
Well, thank you. And I'll take that to intuition and a spiritual and tapping into source. When you can realize to tap into source, and really it's what you see here is 5% of what's actually happening, or whatever the percentage is. It's not very much. Same thing with your subconscious mind, subconscious and conscious mind. I was talking to this lady, and she was so stuck in the 5% conscious intellect. And I was like, hey, and she came to me because she had, the spark was starting to trigger, but she wasn't ready for it yet. And she was like, okay, there's something more, but she wasn't comfortable in going there. But she was so stuck in the intellectual. When you learn to move from the intellectual or the conscious mind to the subconscious and you're dabbling in a whole different realm and a world, and that's where I play. Thank you.
All right, so who would like to have the honor of asking our super special question to Titus this morning? It's hard to see hands, but don't be scared. We always say, yep, we try not to have the organizers do everything, but go ahead, Rihanna.
What can we as a Colorado Springs community do to support you?
So to add to the bucket of things that I do or have done, I've started a nonprofit. Uganda is on my heart. And so if you could help me with my nonprofit, whether it be funding or connections, or even we're looking at making a trip over there as soon as things lighten up for travel. If you could help me with the nonprofit, that would be my answer.
All right, perfect. So as we wrap up today, I forgot to ask if there are any newbies in the house. If this is your first time, hashtag first timer. Awesome, beautiful. I would say every week, some have been joining us online. So online they can do hashtag first timer. We have new people every single week. So a lot of us are here every week. Some people come monthly, some people come seasonally. Teachers usually will show up in the summertime because they can. So that's our community. That's what we want. You're not required to be here. You don't have to be a member, but there is that free app that we talked about. And I'll just mention it at the end. I mentioned it at the beginning. So just remember for next time when you come in, turn that volume off in every zone. I have 4 volume zones. So remember, you gotta click all 4 of them off so that we don't distract from the group that we have here. And then Becky is saying, I want this mug. How do I get one of those? Well, these are the organizer mugs, and they are amazing. They're large, but not too large. They are warm, and they're real cups, and they're pretty, right? Perfect for oatmeal. Fruit fits in there, whatever you want. So we actually have decided as organizers that we are gonna give some of these away outside of the organizer group. So every quarter, we might. So here's how I'll just, since Becky's, really wanting one. So every quarter, so we're gonna start it obviously next month. So April, May, June. If you bring a first timer, the first timer has to write their name and your name. Sometimes 5 people will invite the first timer, but it's really that person that got them there that they're gonna write their name down. And then at the end of the quarter, we're gonna slice those in half, and the first timer has a chance to win, and the person that invited them has a chance to win. So if you invite 10 people, you have a much higher rate of bringing people. So maybe you can make your own little card that has a blank space for their name, and you put your name on it. Maybe you put your name on it and their name on it and give it to them and say, when you come, put this in the bucket. Or, our bucket might just be a cup. So if we need a bucket, we'll get a bucket. But I wanted to let you guys know a little bit about that today. Since it keeps coming up, I might as well. I have no idea what time it is, but we usually end right at 10. It's 9:56, so I have 4 minutes. What else can I talk about? No, I'm just kidding. I won't do that to you guys. You guys are an amazing group. That's exactly what we want. We are on social media. So if you're on Facebook watching, we also take all of these presentations and we put them on YouTube. So if you are wondering why as organizers, we commit about 3 hours a week to 1 million cups. That's our time donated to this community because we're passionate about entrepreneurial people. We want to support them. I'm pretty sure all 5 organizers are also entrepreneurs. So we run our own businesses and we give freely. So sometimes we're looking for new organizers. Sometimes we have to roll off. 1 million cups is not meant to be associated with one person. So we're meant to roll over as organizers and become an alumni organizer. And sometimes the alumni roll back in. So, yep, Rihanna has given me no. So that's too much for today. Yeah. So next week, we're going over all kinds of stuff. So thank you guys for being here. We'll see you next week.